Level 90, like fear to flame, it is time to proceed to the next stage of your plan. The tank's transportation thus arranged, our first task is complete. We may now turn our attention to the second. To wit, obtaining the blessing of the Ilsabard contingent to use the Tower of Babel to channel energy onto the moon. Destination is Camp Broken Glass, where we may present our petition to Commander Lucia. Allow me to personally thank you for your assistance during the recent Voidson incursion. Your actions saved many. What brings you here today? Pray forgive us for not sending word in advance, Commander, but we seek your cooperation in a matter of great import. Indeed, we appreciate you consulting with us instead of taking unilateral action. It is no simple matter to activate the Tower of Babel, and I speak not only of the technological challenges. Personally, I think we must consider the emotional impact of such an action above all else. That we have yet to re-establish a governing body, we provisionally refer to those who remain here as Garlean community. You would expect they are predominantly native Garleans, most of whom are uncomfortable with ethereal manipulation. Compound matters, the trauma inflicted by anima is still fresh. The tower were suddenly to light up again, it is like to cause distress and reopen old wounds. Better that than facing a mass invasion by Golbez and his void-sent hordes, surely. Of course, we acknowledge the gravity of the situation, as well as the promised bloodshed should we fail to act. Yet even were we to convey your warning to the public, many simply do not understand the workings of magic or the rift. They will struggle to comprehend why they must be forced to relive personal horrors for the sake of something they cannot imagine. What's there to imagine? Haven't these people seen Voidsent with their own eyes? Let us suppose you encounter someone who is freezing in this cold. A natural thing to do might be to make them a fire, yes? What if that person's sole experience with fire was being badly burned by it, and they harbored an acute fear? Despite the benefits, nay, the necessity of the warmth you offer, they may flee on instinct, or worse, misinterpret your actions for aggression and lash out. So like the fire that torments this individual, the Tower Babel torments the people of Garlemald. Yet we cannot afford to falter here. We must find a way to help them overcome their fear. I agree. To that end, the contingent will assist however we can. We should speak with Alvinaud and Alizé. With the rapport they have established with the Garlean people, I dare say they could provide us with valuable insights. In the meantime, Arianje, might I ask that you remain here to oversee the technical aspects of the tower's activation? Not what I wanted to do. Are they in tertium? We just went to yeah, it says it on the thing. I wasn't paying any attention. All the things. I am glad to see you. Vritra has explained our present dilemma. There's no unfounded concern that the Garleans might take poorly to the reactivation of the Tower of Babel. That's putting it mildly. Many would be up in arms over it. Trust in the Ilsabard contingent is fragile enough. We need to tread lightly, or we risk jeopardizing everything we've achieved. Trust again. Well, it seems to me there's naught for it but to speak with the people. Rather than harping on about the necessity of the plan, we need to lend an ear to their concerns. Then perhaps we can begin working towards a compromise. In that case, I'll take you to meet the community leaders. They're at a station called Senatus, near the Seneculum Imperialis. I would be honored to speak with them, though it would be prudent to learn where people elsewhere stand as well, but that I will leave to the others. Save Zero, might you accompany me? I'm sure those in Tapper's Den will have their own opinions. Alpha Naut, if I may drag you along. Tertium, we leave to you. You are no stranger to the people here, so it should take little prodding to convince them to speak freely. Then it's settled. Once you've learned what you can do, let us all meet in the Forum Soleus, where we have what I hope is a productive discussion. Tower of Babel? But what's it got to do with the Void Scent? I can't say I understand. Still, you people have done much and more for us Garleans. If you say it's necessary, then that's good enough for me. Whatever its present state, the Imperial Palace was once the pride of Garlemald. I mean, no disrespect to you and yours, but shouldn't the Garlean people be its caretakers instead of foreigners? Now, if we dared speak thus to some of the contingent, they might make assumptions, cut our rations, or worse. No, forget I said anything, please. Activate the Tower of Babel. Are you out of your mind? The abomination transformed my friends and family into monsters. I can't even bear to look at it whenever I step outside. If you want to do something for us, tear the bloody thing down. Fi, that tower isn't right. I tell you, all those magics. Years ago when I lived in the provinces, the locals razed our village to the ground with the stuff, made things appear and disappear and fly and burn. Can still see it when I close my eyes. You've done us a good turn, dear, but let's not talk about that tower any longer. It's unnatural. No, stop it. The tower's evil. It'll turn us all evil. I don't want to hear it. Leave me alone. We don't have much of a choice, do we? We heard you. We're going to do it anyways. Ulysses is on his way with the others. Hope you found the people more receptive than we did. May I present to you Lords Neus and Metius, magistrates of our political council. They have been spearheading the efforts to establish a new system of government here. When we raised the subject of the Tower of Babel, they insisted that we speak no further until joined by representatives of the Ildebard contingent. I see Alphanald and Alizé have yet to arrive, though, so perhaps we should wait. Doesn't matter if only some of you are present. We simply wish to make one thing perfectly clear. The tower is the manifestation of Garlean ingenuity and authority. It was once the abode of the Imperial family, and it will forever bear tremendous cultural significance. It is insulting enough that we have had to suffer foreigners occupying it under the guise of rendering aid, and now you propose reactivating it? Nay, we have had enough. Garlemald of old may have fallen, but she fell in civil war to her own people, not to Eorzea or any other land. Came here to assert our unequivocal claim to our territory. Garlemald and all that lies within her bounds is beholden to no one. Level 90, like Fear to Flame, complete. Level 90, the Fallen Empire. Euless is eager to get out of the cold. Since their excellencies are resolved to negotiate with the contingent, I will escort them to Tertium. I also instruct Alphinaud and Alizé to meet us there. Lord Medius, Lord Neus, by your leave, my comrades and I would speak with the residents of Senatus. Though the Ilsabard contingent holds the Tower of Babel, it is I who wishes for it to be reactivated, and thus I think it meet that I be present for this discussion. Yet my understanding of your people's hardships, of their hopes and desires, of their dreams for the future, is sorely lacking. In my ignorance, I would struggle to contribute. Lest you worry, I will not plead our case to the community in your absence. I wish only to identify common ground upon which we might build a relationship that sees us overcome our differences. Very well, but know that the guards will not hesitate to escort you from the premises should they judge your actions to be inappropriate. It's settled, then you should all head to Senatus. I'll join you there after I see their excellencies safely to Tertium. Here it is, Senatus, a temporary refuge for political dignitaries, hence the tight security. I'm given to understand that outsiders are not normally permitted so much as a glimpse inside. We should consider ourselves fortunate to be given this opportunity. I hope it will be worth the trouble. As do I, Zero, as do I. Enter Senatus. Like Tertium without the right. To begin, I propose we split up and ask the residents for their views on the Ilsabard contingent and current state of affairs. We would also do well to learn more about this enclave itself. Should you observe anything of note, pray keep it in mind. It is through open hearts and open minds that I believe we may yet convince their leaders to work with us for the greater good. Pile of crates. Stockpile of assorted supplies bears markings indicating they were provided by the Ilsabard contingent. The Enclave is clearly reliant upon the Alliance for aid. How do I feel about the contingent? Conflicted, to say the least. I've been tasked with the distribution of supplies, and I know as well as any that we couldn't survive without outside aid. Be that as it may, even though the Empire has collapsed, we have our pride. People don't want to be beholden to others forever, and there's no denying that it chafes to see our benefactors occupying the Imperial Palace. You recognize the large cask as the very same you and your comrades used to transport ceruleum from Lapis Manalis. Why are they in Senatus is unclear. You want to know what I think? I'm a soldier. I try not to think about politics at all. I'll say this much. Our leaders labor to preserve our culture, our way of life. What remains of it, at any rate, I trust them to do what's best for Garlemald. Finished touring the Enclave, have you? What were you able to learn? Much the same as me, then. They accept the contingent's help out of necessity and harbor a measure of resentment. They have only themselves to blame. If they don't like the bargain, they should reject it. How many times must I tell you, it's absolutely out of the question. What's going on? We were wondering the very same. We came running when we heard shouting. Is aught the matter? Oh, no, I was just trying to explain. Mayhap you can clear this up. The contingent has made a reasonable request, but this man insists that it's impossible. Concerns the Magitech weapons which run rampant throughout Regio Urbanissima. Every time we deliver supplies here, we have to dispatch extra men to defend against potential attacks. To address the issue once and for all, we propose the elimination of all machina that loiter near the supply route, but you heard them, they refuse to even consider it. The magistrates have already spoken on this matter. Rampant or no, those war machina are Garlean assets. Furthermore, who is to say they are as dangerous as you attest? It has been suggested that this could be a pretense to scavenge Magitech material for your own ends. I know not if this is the case, but the fact remains we cannot allow you to destroy them. More speculation by the magistrates. I presume ridiculous, but they have spoken, and unless we want to inflame tensions further, there's naught we can do. How complicated relations become when not grounded in a clear and equitable arrangement. An equitable arrangement, of course. Well, I understand the difficulty of your position. As a soldier, you must do your duty and obey your superiors. I have an idea, but I must first speak with Commander Lucia. May I take charge of this matter? By all means. Let us return to Camp Broken Glass, where we might discuss a solution I believe will satisfy all parties. Like, go get your own damn supplies. Welcome back, all of you. I pray there have been positive developments in your efforts to appeal to the Garlean community. Mayhap not yet, but there is a method by which I believe all stand to gain. As satrap, I intend to propose a trade agreement between Razatan and the people of Garlemald. Please continue. People of this nation have lived through its collapse and more, yet they have chosen to remain, for it is their home. They have been able to survive thus far as thanks to the Ilsabard contingent, or rather, in less flattering terms, they are entirely at your mercy. Despite your noble intentions, this one-sided relationship has fueled feelings of frustration and resentment. 'Tis no surprise, then, that some Garleans are loath to engage with foreigners or for fear of indebting themselves further or surrendering more of their already limited autonomy. That is why I wish to present them with an equitable arrangement. One that would restore to them sense of agency after having been forced to rely upon charity. Easier said than done. What exactly did you have in mind? Long have Garlemald and Razatan abided by the Treaty of Non-Interference. Freely we have traded with one another, and I wish to but continue in this tradition. We would provide your people with such supplies as you require, in return for which you would grant us leave to use the Tower of Babel, as well as share your Magitech resources and expertise. As we become more reliant upon your technologies, we will of course require more ceruleum to fuel them. This you possess in abundance, and for it you will be duly compensated. Radzatsan's culture will be enriched by your Magitech wonders, and our ever-increasing demand for your wares will see Garlemald grow wealthy and prosperous. Only when both sides keep the interest of the other in mind can an equitable relationship be forged. It is a principle I once thought I understood, but have come to appreciate all the more in recent days, thanks to the sage counsel of a friend from beyond the rift. Your Excellency, thank you for your careful consideration of Garlemald's future, though I cannot speak for every Garly, and I myself see no reason to object to your proposal. Indeed, if Radzatan were to take the initiative, other nations may follow suit and seek to normalize trade relations with us. If you see the sense in my proposal, then I ask you to join me in the negotiations at Tertium. Your support may be instrumental in winning over Lord Neus and Medius. By all means, go with them. I have matters here well in hand. I have learned all that I may regarding the tower's operation, so I too shall hie me to Tertium. The crowd you may have brought, but numbers will not intimidate us. The Tower of Babel is ours by rights, and nothing you do will convince us otherwise. Rest assured, it is not our intent to infringe upon the rights of the people of Garlemald. Let us instead discuss the future. As a satrap of Radzatan, I wish to establish a new trade agreement between our nations. The aid we presently receive will not last forever, my lord. Sooner or later, we must stand on our own 2 feet. But to do so, we must secure a means to replenish our coffers, and the proposed agreement presents a rare opportunity. 'Tis true we do not want from Magitech and Ceruleum, and foreign currency will be needed to procure such things as we lack. It would depend on the precise terms, but I can see the merits. What? I can't believe what I'm hearing. You served the Emperor, were a proud patriot. Now you entertain selling national resources like a common merchant? Like you, I weep for what we have lost, but if we are to rebuild Garlemald, we must make use of what precious few assets remain to us. Nonsense, utter nonsense. You are a traitor, Neus, and there will be a reckoning. Oh yes, when the people of Senatus learn of this, they will cry out for your blood. But Medius, wait, it isn't safe out there. Level 90, the Fallen Empire, complete. Level 90, Bonds of Trust. Concern is writ plain on Ulysses' face. Far too dangerous for a civilian to be outside alone. We must go after Lord Medius. Let us leave matters here in Maximus' care while the rest of us join in the search. Lord Medius is bound for Senatus. We may be able to catch up to him in Regio Urbanissima. I pray he has not come to any harm. I'm alive.
Praise the sisters, you are safe.
Don't think I'm indebted to you. I never asked for your help.
You love Garlemald dearly, Lord Metius. That much is plain. But you're not alone in that. We all mourn what has become of our homeland. Bristle at having to rely upon outsiders simply to survive the cold. Even now, I struggle with fear and uncertainty. Day after day, I ask myself, what is right? Where do we go from here? I've yet to find the answers. But I won't stop looking nonetheless, and I won't avert my gaze from our grim reality.
Is there hope for us?
Aye, so long as we live. Garlemald lies in ruins, but the bonds between us will never be broken. We are the chain that connects generations past and future. You and I, it's links. Help us, Lord Metius, for all we have been and for what we may yet become. Please.
To be lectured by the young man, it ill becomes a man of my station. I will rejoin the talks at Tertium. Might I trouble you to escort me? Ewipard, I apologize for my discourtesy. I owe you my life, and I thank you.
Euless, wait. I'd like a word. With you as well. I'm to stay close, after all.
Worry not, we shall see the magistrate safely back to Tertium.
What is it?
You bound that man with trust, didn't you? That's why he did not require coercion to return.
Shall we walk, perhaps? Chilly, standing around here. So that's how Zero came to join you. Still, I'm not sure I'm qualified to explain something like trust. I wouldn't describe myself as a sociable person. Before all this, any free time I had, I spent looking after my brother and sister. As for the magistrate, I only told him what's been on my mind of late. But I wouldn't have done so, I think, if it weren't for the twins' influence. Trust is infectious, in a manner of speaking. When someone believes in you, it makes you want to believe in them, in others. in yourself. Perhaps it's because the magistrate felt that earnestness that he gave us a chance. As I did, after I was caught trying to steal provisions from the enemy. Trust comes easy in such company.
Little wonder my world is devoid of it. No one trusts in you, and so you trust in no one. And round the wheel turns. During the Contra Memoria, we had already come to judge one another based on strength and usefulness. You either used or were used. Those who rejected this rule didn't survive. My mother wanted to save the world, to fulfill the hopes of Memoria's good and true. After she died, I carried on her mission alone.
Alone? Didn't you have anyone to help you?
Almost. 2 men tried just the once. A swordsman and a mage, whom I met when passing through a village. They had saved the people there from corrupted Memoriates. When they learned our enemies were the same, they seemed heartened. They claimed to be soldiers of a kingdom called Baron, and were traveling the realm in search for means to end the Contra Memoria. They invited me to join them. I refused. How could I not, having learned the lessons of my world? Those who would work with others always have their own motives. I would not place myself at their mercy. I would not be forced to submit. I expected some manner of outburst, some show of frustration at having failed to deceive me. But they simply watched me walk away. I didn't know what to make of it then, but now... Perhaps they shared a bond of trust. Perhaps they were the last ones left who dared. Perhaps they hoped I was like them too. Perhaps it was just an offer, and nothing more. I continued fighting alone. But ultimately I was undone, overwhelmed by enemies that had banded together. I was cold, in pain, wishing desperately that someone would save me. And as I lay there in solitude, I felt it happen. The breaking of our world. Darkness washed over me, and I was swept into the rift. When I finally managed to return, it was to a world forever transformed. My home, now filled with abominations. I had a chance to learn about trust, and forsook it. I never had the power to save my home single-handed. I should have accepted their invitation. Had I joined them as I've joined you, I might not have had to face the end of the world alone. But it's all history now. No amount of reflection or regret will change our present reality.
Whatever may have happened in the past, You're still here, Zero. Alive. So long as you're alive, there will always be hope, no matter how bad things get. What you couldn't do yesterday, you might still do today. Think about it. It's plain that you've forged bonds with those around you. If you didn't feel that in some sense, would you have risked your life as you did for a meager ration of boots? I trust you too, for what it's worth.
Here it is again. The fire that burned in my breast when you came to my rescue. The urge to weep, though there is no sorrow. If this is trust, then what must I do? How do I answer it?
Whatever you like. With a handshake, perhaps?
Give me your hand. It's not something you do constantly, mind. A friend is a friend regardless.
A friend. So that's what it means. Someone you trust.
Thank you. I feel at last as though I found the answers I sought, and I owe it all to you and Euless. Right then, I expect the others have already arrived back at Tertium. We should join them. Level 90, Bonds of Trust. Complete. So glad am I to see everyone return, and none the worse for wear. Various representatives of the Garland community are gathered here this very moment. I dare say this is a fine opportunity to announce the trade agreement. You've read the memorandum. I trust you find the terms acceptable. I do, Aeneas. I pray you forgive my disgraceful conduct earlier. I am ashamed not only of my behavior, but of placing the burden of negotiation solely on your shoulders in my absence. You should know that when we brought up the subject of the tower's reactivation to the people at Tapper's Den, some reacted quite strongly. Once we explained that it would be to prevent another Voidsent invasion, however, they were more receptive. It's fair to say the recent episode is still fresh in their minds. I tagged along to deliver a supply of ceruleum. Have to say, I didn't expect to see such a large crowd. Even the stuffy Imperials who normally keep to themselves in Sonatus are here. Ahem, my friends and countrymen, lend me your ears. I'm pleased to inform you all on this joyous occasion that we, the people of Garlemald, have entered into a trade agreement with Razatan. To inaugurate our accord, we intend to grant the individuals before you access to the Tower of Babel. In return, Razatan will provide us with supplies which shall be equally distributed amongst the settlements of our nation. Let me be clear on one point. This is not an act of charity, but trade, a bargain struck between equals rooted in trust and respect, and it marks a significant step towards rebuilding our nation and regaining true independence. Razatan holds Garlean technology and ingenuity in the highest esteem. It is my hope that through this agreement, our peoples will enjoy a mutually beneficial relationship for years to come. Now then, we bid you gather round here to hear the particulars, that you might convey them to those elsewhere. So burdened by hardship and trauma were the people of Garlemald that they were unable to imagine a brighter future. We recognize as equals, as a nation with something of value to offer to others. That validation alone is enough to rekindle their hope. It is by virtue of this partnership that we may access the Tower of Babel, a rather timely development given the ether tank's impending arrival. Once the tower's stores have been replenished, we need but await Ashtola's signal to channel the energy into the moon, yes? Then you can leave that and anything else on this end to me and Alphanaud. No need to worry. Devote all your energies to the mission in the void. As ever, I am in your debt. You are good friends. Level 90, Lunar Rendezvous. Urianger wishes to take stock of the situation.
Let us take a moment to review matters as they stand. Having procured sufficient stores of ether, we may now channel the requisite energy unto the moon via the Tower of Babel. Our work on the star is complete. However, we have yet to receive word from Y'shtola as to the state of the lunar preparations.
A ritual to open the gate, and measures to forestall a void-sent invasion. Neither task is simple nor quickly completed. She would doubtless benefit from our assistance.
The very thing I was about to propose. Let us join her above and lend what aid we may. Ere we set forth, however, Y'shtola did bid me relay a message to thee. As thou art well aware, a key objective of our mission is the extraction of thy sister Ashdaya from the Void. Held captive for millennia and divested of an eye, she is like to be severely weakened. To make good her escape, she shall require aid. Aid that is best provided by a fellow Great Worm.
You would have me go in my true form. Very well. Like our sire, we Great Worms are capable of traversing the great expanse. The journey will take some time, but I shall take myself to the moon. To begin with, I shall return this vessel to Radzat-Han, that I may have both my eyes. And until such time as we find Ashdaya, I would entrust her eye to your keeping. Will you do this for me?
We shall contact you via Link Pearl once all is in place on the moon. You need but follow Ishtola's instructions.
Understood. We'll be ready.
Take care, Zero.
It will be the briefest of homecomings. I'll be back before you know it.
In mare elementorum, then. Go well.
I took the liberty of informing Ishtola of our arrival. She and her entourage should be here momentarily.
Forgive me. I'd hoped to have everything in order sooner. My thanks for the extra hands.
Alphino and Alice stand ready at the Tower of Babel. Vritra is also en route.
Excellent. You've done well, all of you. For my part, I've managed to prepare the ritual with help from the Watcher. All that remains is to channel the ether from below. This should, I pray, open a gate leading to the moon of the 13th.
May I just say how excited we are to be a part of this grand undertaking. The development of the artificial Atomos was one thing, but this is an opportunity like no other. Ishtola even managed to get a loan of elegant treatises on void sense summoning from the prized collection of the Sons of Saint Koinak. The Empire's application of etherochemistry in regulating void gates provided us with many a useful insight for our work, let me tell you.
I asked a favor of Grahatir when we were comparing notes on cross-rift travel. Given his credentials, I was confident he wouldn't be denied. The knowledge of our forebears has brought us far, as has our own. And with our knowledge and resources, we shall construct a void-sent containment seal on a heretofore unseen scale.
Containment seal? Then thou wouldst make use of...
Aye, A tried-and-tested means of holding dark entities at bay is readily available here. 'Twould be remiss of us not to employ it. We shall reforge the brands that Xenos and Fandaniel destroyed. That which held even Zodiark shall more than suffice for Voidsent of any persuasion.
The Watcher is already hard at work, tending to the most critical parts of the brand's restoration. There are, however, a number of concerning factors that remain. With your help, I'm sure we can resolve them.
Time is of the essence, so I suggest we continue this discussion as we make our way to the brands.
The brand. Now then, to the matter at hand. With the Watcher's assistance, we shall reforge each of Zodiark's brands and use them to erect a barrier capable of repelling Voidsent. Yet though we expect it to be effective against larger beings on account of its original purpose, there is a chance it will allow lesser Voidsent to slip through. Therefore, we shall require a second line of defense, and I believe the Loperate supporters would be suitable for this purpose. Briange, Zilly, the two of you have a strong rapport with our lunar allies. I would have you meet with Livingway and Bestway's Burrow to provide any assistance they require. I will join you as a Voidsent. My knowledge may be of use. Excellent idea. In the meantime, the rest of us will see to reforging the brands. I will send word when we have finished. Pray do the same. There you are. Stola has apprised me of your present undertaking. I understand that she wishes to deploy our pride and joy, the veritable carrots of our eye, and unrivaled combat supporters as a precautionary measure in case this Voidsent containment seal of hers proves lacking. As we speak, my fellows are rounding up what units they can and will bring them to the northeast corner in short order. Please wait there.
Dreadfully sorry to have kept you all waiting. Hello there, friends. A new person. Heard there was a bit of a rush, so we gathered what combat-ready supporters we had available.
A welcome contribution. Thine initiative never ceaseth to amaze.
Oh, stop! You're making me blush! Though we have fulfilled the purpose given to us by Heidelin, aiding the people of Aetheris remains our greatest joy. So you can count on us, ever and always. Right, so, we originally deployed these supporters to patrol the moon and keep it safe. They've never tussled with Voidsent before, but with sufficient data, they ought to hold their own against the ghastly fiends. practical, tactical data acquired in the moment. And who better to give the supporters an educational thrashing than the champion of Aetherius?
I believe I would make a better instructor. Not only have I fought Voidsent, I am one.
Well, don't just stand there. Engage! 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 Engage!
That'll do, that'll do! A defeat bitterer than the bitterest carrot. Using this experience, we must enhance the supporters and turn them into Voidsent slaughterbots!
Waterbots.
Indeed. Right after we've managed to put the poor dears back together.
Pray forgive our comrade's enthusiasm. May I inquire as to how long the repairs will take?
On an ordinary day, I'd say no less than 5 carrots briskly consumed. But if you were to provide us with encouragement, we just might be able to do it in 2.
This I leave to you.
Clobbert's eyes twinkle with anticipation as they await your buoyant exhalation. To wit, they yearn for you to rally their spirits. What? Engage, engage. Oh, sorry, I was in the midst of, forgive me, the sight of precision parts is strangely soothing and sleep-inducing, but I'll try to keep moving. What a marvelous feeling. There's nothing like wild gesticulations of encouragement to fire you up. Oh. I'm not going to read all that. Ooh, thank you very, very much. You don't know how uplifting it is to have you encouraging us. I mean, showing us the proper technique so we may keep our supporters operating at peak efficiency. With you cheering me on, I can do not less than my very best. My, everyone is in high spirits indeed. Thanks to your encouragement, we'll have the supporters up and running again in no time at all. Pray attend to your remaining busy work and leave the deployment of our new and improved Voidsent slaughterbots to us. Level 90, Lunar Rendezvous, complete.
Can you hear me? We've just finished restoring the brands. Let us reconvene once you've finished tending to matters there. The culmination of our efforts is nigh.